Welcome to another episode of Shaken Not Stirred. I am your host, Martini. And if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. If this is your second or third time checking out a video from my channel, clearly something I said from the previous episodes shook you up a bit. So go ahead and please show your support and appreciation for this content by liking this video and hitting that subscribe button down below. So today I want to shed some light on a subject that I think causes many heartaches as well as divorce proceedings. Cheating. Now, before I jump into this topic, I want to make sure I clear up and clarify what I mean when I use the word cheating or infidelity as it relates to any relationship, whether it be heterosexual or non-heterosexual. So, according to WebMD, cheating is defined as when a person in a monogamous or committed romantic relationship has an emotional or sexual relationship with someone else without their partner's explicit consent. This doesn't necessarily mean that the two individuals have to be married on paper either. So, what are the implications of this definition? So, if you and someone are dating or are in any form of relationship, but neither party has communicated explicitly and mutually that they are exclusive to one another and are committed to one another, then any other relationship that either party has other than that one individual does not constitute as cheating, because there is no definitive status of that relationship, hence where this situationship comes from. I'm sure some of y'all are already picking up where I'm going with this. All right, so let's get back to cooking. Cheating. For as long as monogamy has been around, infidelity has also been a headache and heartache for many who find themselves attempting to experience a lifelong, committed, devotional, healthy relationship to another person. Infidelity is something that has permeated every single aspect of the human experience, so much so that we almost can't quite distinguish what constitutes it anymore than we can understand why it even happens in the first place. Science seems to have taken an increased interest in understanding why it only exists amongst us humans and not, or among no other living entity on the planet. So according to a study published in the Journal of Sex and Marital Therapy in December of 2020, researchers found 8 motivations for cheating. These motivations are anger, self-esteem, lack of love, low commitment, and a need for variety, neglect, sexual desire, and circumstances. The article goes on to describe how the biggest factor that plays into why people cheat is their longing for something new, because the affair offers them a sense of novelty and excitement, even if their committed relationship or marriage is perfectly stable. I will drop the link in the article to the article in the description box below for you all to check out if you want. So let me bring this home to me personally and to those who caught on to where I was going with what I said at the very beginning of the short disclaimer earlier. There's overwhelming data out there to show that both men and women cheat at nearly the same exact rate, so I'm not going to touch that with the 10-foot pole. What I will say is this: the response that men and women generally have to cheating is absolutely different, and I'm going to share why. I can only speculate and conjecture at this point about how women respond to cheating, for the obvious fact that I'm not a woman. However, I will say this, and please correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, about this in the comment sections. For women, because you all establish a connection with men with a heavy emphasis on the emotional side of your human experience, as well as the explicit communication of your intent to be monogamous and committed to just that one guy, if he explicitly expresses that same commitment back to you and then turns around and violates that commitment by cheating, it's the equivalent of that man ripping out your heart and then tossing it into a trash can, because your commitment to him stemmed primarily from a deep emotional connection that you had with him. And so the pain is much more visceral. Hence why the general behavior responses that you guys have towards men cheating is not the best. Now for men, however, it's slightly different. So for us, we establish a connection with a woman with a heavy emphasis on the logic, duty, honor, and respect side of our human experience. And when we explicitly communicate that to you all, and that we want you and only you, what we're saying to you without saying it is that we want to devote the rest of our lives protecting you and providing for you all that you need and want, and never have you to go for wanting or ever need another man for those two aspects. Now, don't get me wrong. There is some degree of emotional connection associated with our initial expression of commitment to you. However, it's very acute, When you ladies in turn explicitly express that commitment and relational exclusivity to us, but then turn around and violate it by cheating on us, it's almost the same thing, kind of like you are ripping our hearts out of our chest and throwing it into a trash, except for us. Because we are men, we are generally more logical in our estimation of things. We suppress the pain through other means. And because for us, we are programmed from birth not to feel or show emotions. And so those means could be healthy or unhealthy. So my first divorce wasn't truly a painful one because we weren't ready for any kind of long-term committed relationship due to a ton of unresolved, unreconciled childhood traumas that we both had on our parts. So we were married for, I want to say, 5 years, about 5 years. My first ex-wife, and an amazing human came from that union. Now my second divorce annihilated or almost annihilated my existence, literally. After almost a decade of marriage, my ex-wife woke up one day, literally, and declared that she was no longer in love with me. Not only was she no longer in love with me, but during a family vacation trip that we took all to go spend with her family, that she went to go visit her ex to go talk to him. And I wasn't sure of it or aware of it at the time at all. Now, people fall in and out of love all the time. So for me, I didn't care about that. It didn't bother me. That piece didn't bother me that much. The piece that nearly destroyed me, though, was going to see her ex. Now, I can't tell you how many times in that marriage where I had a plethora of opportunities to step out on the marriage and cheat, but declined them without hesitation. So for me, it didn't make any sense, and it will never make any sense because it was a clear violation. Now, this individual didn't see it as such, and I've completely moved on since then because it did happen about 4 years ago. I have no ill will nor bitterness. I harbor no hate towards this individual because 3 beautiful humans came out from that union. Now, fast forward to today. I am happily married to my current wife, who I refer to as my Empress, who is 1,000,000% worthy of my love and commitment because she reciprocates it with fidelity. Now, is that to say that I know that my current wife will never cheat on me? That would imply that I control her and subsequently the marriage, and the answer to that is no. And I suppose that's the beauty of the human experience. I've developed and reinforced enough love for myself that I think I would be okay if she ever decided to violate me and the marriage in that way, but I highly doubt that she would ever do that because we're both on the same frequency when it comes to our expectations around infidelity. I'm genuinely curious though, ladies, when you establish connection with a man for the very first time, what are you saying to him without saying that you're willing to commit to do and or being for him? And how does this impact your decision to commit to him? I'm really curious to know. Let me know in the comment section. Peace and blessings.